Alright, so in this video we talk about how I graduate college without much effort. Okay, so some of you guys know this, some of you guys don't, but I'm pretty lazy, okay? Like I'm just like your average college dude. I'm not like a scholar or anything like that. I only really went to college because I wanted to be like the first one in my family to get a college degree. Right? I didn't really have a a career path to say, when I was going to college because I just pursued finance, honestly. Finance, you can't really go wrong with finance, but there was no part of me that was actually interested in finance. So it was really hard for me to, you know, pursue that passion. I was more into entrepreneurship, which looking back, I probably should have studied that instead. But entrepreneurship, you don't really need a college degree for, honestly. You just should just, it's from trial and error. You should just start up a business, fail, and if you work on a business for 4 years instead of going to college, honestly, way better off. But yeah, let's go back to the topic. How I graduated college without even any effort, really. You know, my freshman year, I'm not gonna lie, I went pretty hard. I did try to make sure my grades were phenomenal, and then I still got like pretty mediocre grades, honestly, but pretty good though. Like they were all like above a B, because I was able to transfer a lot of them over when I went to a different school, and if you don't get a certain grade, they don't transferable. I think it's like a C plus or a C. I think yeah, you gotta get like above a certain grade, and those credits will transfer. And I pretty much got through my freshman year with some pretty decent amount of hard work. I'm not gonna lie. It wasn't like I breezed through it. I did try to like study and try to like it, the assignments I do all the assignments. I never paid anyone to do any of my assignments. Okay, so that effort I did put in. Okay, so there's no shortcuts around doing the assignments. For the quizzes and tests, again, there's really no shortcuts unless you copy your neighbors. Okay, or if you cheat. Okay, and I don't recommend this because it's against the academic policy. They make you sign like an academic policy, like an agreement in the beginning of the year. But if you want to do what I did, because I'm not gonna lie, I did cheat on exams. Not gonna lie. At this point, it's really too late for them to even take back the degree. All right, but like, not gonna lie, bro. Like those exams were tough. Like I'm not gonna lie. Even in college, like I remember when I was in economics class, right? I was really bad at economics because the classes were so boring, and it was just a bunch of just terms that you just had to memorize. And I knew I wasn't gonna use any of these words ever in my life, so I was just not interested in memorizing these different terms. And I don't know, it just didn't sit with me. Like every time I try to study it, I just in year out the other, all right. And I had to rely on one of my friends to really carry me on that exam. Honestly, I'm not gonna hold you. I sat next to him, and he really blessed out. I would have failed that class for sure if I didn't copy off him. Another time that I had to like copy off somebody, like I don't really normally copy off people because I'm pretty smart. I can take a test by myself. I pass it you know, pretty easily, I'd say, without having to cheat. But there's classes where I had to, and yeah, that's really the way you could get around like having to work hard. It's just cheating, honestly. And, like that's to do it without much effort. But you gotta. There is some degree in effort of putting. There's some degree of effort that you have to put in. Like there's ways to shortcut some stuff, right? Like let's say you get an exam that's like a home exam. Like you take the exam home basically. Right? I've had those too. Like an exam on the computer. I've had those too. It was crazy. And I would just have my friends do it for me. Honestly, my smarter friends, they would have to do the exam already, right? So like, let's say my friend, they would take the exam earlier, before I like, cause it's like a certain amount of time. Like, oh, you have to finish it by the end of the day or something like that, or like by the end of like 3 days, finish the exam, right? And I remember one time I had this girl. I actually had a little crush on her too. She was pretty cute, but she had a boyfriend. Um, but yeah, this girl, she was pretty smart. She was like in a similar class. She wasn't in my class, but she was taking a similar class, and the exam was pretty much exactly the same. Like I remember we had the same exact exam. Was it the same professor? I don't remember us having the same class, but we definitely had the same professor and the same exact exam. But basically, I waited for her to finish her exam, and then I was like, "Yo, like, you mind like helping me out with my exam?" She ended up doing it for me, which is great. You know, it was fantastic. She was mad smart. But basically, it was like the same questions and same answers. So for her, the second time around, it was just like repeating the thing, right? But for her, it's like she learned the stuff. I didn't learn any of it, right? So you have to realize when you take a shortcut, you're giving up something in return. Okay? Like, yeah, you get through that hurdle of that exam, but now you have to get over the hurdle of the next exam that may include that same material. So you have to keep that in mind going forward as well. And just because it was on the exam on a computer exam doesn't mean it won't show up in the future on like a paper exam. Also keep that in mind. All right. So I didn't um, think college was that hard. It's honestly like high school 2.0. That's really how I would summarize it. So if you're a high school student watching this video, don't think college is like intimidating or anything like that. It's literally just high school with more freedom. Like you don't gotta raise your hand to go to the bathroom. Like the professors don't give a fuck about you. Like you could literally not show up. They don't care. They're not gonna call your parents. No one takes attendance, right? And if they do take attendance, that teacher's usually anal and always show up if they do take attendance. Okay. Another thing is for college to like not have a hard well not I want to say not a hard time, but like to not have to put in that much effort, you just have to make a lot of connections with people. Okay. So for me, like I know that I'm not really smart, right? I'm like okay smart. I'm not smart. So I knew that like certain classes in certain topics, I would have to find somebody and make friends with them. So for example, my calculus class, like like I know myself, I didn't take trigonometry. I literally skipped trigonometry. I skipped pre-calculus, right? And then I took a college now class in high school, which was for pre-calc, and that credit, like I didn't even pass the class. I'm not gonna lie. I took the exam. I failed that exam completely, but the school somehow still gave me a passing grade. It was like a B plus, B minus, whatever. But that B plus or whatever, it transferred into college credits. Even though I failed, I literally failed the class, but it transferred over to college credits. Like no matter what my grade was, it gave me a passing grade, and it was transferable. And then that allowed me to literally skip trig and pre-calc in college. So I only had to take calculus and I was done with math. Okay? So when I was taking calculus, just imagine how clueless I am. Like a kid that never took trig, never seen all these symbols or formulas or whatever. Bro, I was completely lost. I didn't know how to solve a single problem. Every day I was going into the class and it was like I was learning a new language. Like I was learning Chinese. Not even Chinese. I know Chinese. It was like learning Japanese or freaking like um, learning I don't know what's another language that's learning Russian for example, like it was mad hard. Like I to start like talk about parabolas and all that. Oh my god. And then there's like imaginary once they hit me with imaginary numbers, bro, I was like, what are you talking about? Imaginary? What do you mean imaginary? I see it right there. There's a sign. I don't want to get into it, bro. It was too much for me to handle. So what did I do? Well, I had to copy somebody. I had to find somebody to help me. Okay, like there was nobody that was gonna be able to tutor me because there's no way I'm gonna accumulate that much knowledge in that short of a time. Like, I don't get me wrong, I did try. Like, you don't act like I didn't try. Like, I literally tried so hard to learn it. Okay, and it was just not. It was not sticking. Okay, so I went up to so at this point, right? I figured I was not good at the class after my first exam, okay? Which I got a complete failing grade, right? If 50 was passing, I failed, okay? I didn't even get half the answers right. It was so bad, okay? Then there was another exam. Did even worse on that exam. It was like half of 50. It was like 25. I think I got like a 20 on that exam. Bro, it was so bad. I didn't know what I was doing, okay? It was so bad. And those two exams I actually tried. All right, like I really tried. Even with cheating, like I literally tried to cheat. I had my own little formula shit. I tried to like use that shit. Did not work at all. Like literally not helpful at all. And then I learned my lesson. I was like, oh my god, like if I don't do well, like I'm gonna fail. I'm literally gonna fail, right? And then the professor, he made an announcement towards the end of the semester. He was like, if you guys do well in the finals, I'll count your finals grade towards your main grade. So if I pass the finals, I would pass the whole class basically, right? So it would weigh more heavily. And I was like, oh my goodness, I have to take advantage of this. So when the when there was an exam, right? I think it was the second exam or maybe like the midterm. Yeah, midterm. It was a pretty big exam. A midterm exam, right? And we got a but there was one perfect score. Like actually no, he did get a perfect score, and then he got extra credit. So he missed one question. I think it was like he got one wrong. It was at 99, and he got extra credit that brought it up to like 103 or 104, something like that on exam. And I'm looking at my paper with like a 30 something. Him with a fucking 100 something. I'm like, huh? Like what are these Chinese kids on, bro? Like what are they on? What are they feeding them in China, bro? Like it's wild how smart they are or how smart he is. I don't know if all Chinese people are like that, but like, yo, this kid was mad smart. I was like, what the hell? Dude killed it. And then, yeah, so I started talking to him like in Chinese because, I peep like he's not like American like at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's very like the way he dresses, the way he acts. And then I hear him talk in Chinese too, like with his like little friends because he has like Chinese friends in class. And yeah, like I started talking. I'm like, yo, like, talking in Chinese, this and that, trying to make friends with him. And I was like, yeah, like if you don't mind, like on the next exam, if you might, like if you can help me out, cause I'm doing pretty bad in this class, like that'd be really nice. And then afterwards, I'll treat you out to eat or whatever. And he's like, oh, don't even worry about it. But yeah, you're more than like, you're more than welcome to pretty much copy off me. I guess that's what he said. I don't know, but he pretty much let me cheat off of him, and it was so crazy. And it really was so crazy. And after the exam for the finals, I met up with him. I was like, yo, let me treat you out. Like, let me buy you something to eat. He's like, yo, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Like, man, that guy. I don't even know his name. Honestly, I still don't remember his name. But I don't remember what he looks like. I have no idea what he looks like. But I really hope you're doing well, random Chinese guy in my calculus class. I really hope you're doing well, man. Like, you really saved my butt. I'm not gonna lie. I would have still been in college trying to take calculus if it wasn't for you, honestly. Like, shout out to you, bro. For real. For real, for real. Okay? So, that's like my I really don't really have any more tips besides that. Like, the one number one way to make like to graduate college that I did it, right? Without any effort was just networking with people, right? Making friends with people that are smarter than me and just like copying off them, honestly. Like just using them to help me, honestly, right? And it's like it's very reflective of the real world, honestly. Okay, and college, they don't want you to know this because it's unethical, but it's very reflective of the real world. Like in college, right? You get assignments, like all that matters is that you complete the assignment. I really doubt the college cares about how you completed it. Okay. Yes, they don't want you to cheat. Yes, they don't want you using like AI chatbots or whatever like that to complete the assignment for you. But if you could figure a way around it, that's still completing an assignment. That's still like um, coming up with a way to get around, the system basically, which is reflective of real life. In real life, it's the same thing, right? You can't just go word for word copy online, right? You should also put your own twist on it, right? The same thing with college, right? You can't just like, well, yeah, for the same thing with college. Like when you submit an assignment, you don't copy word for word, right? You have to like reword it, analyze the text, put it into your own words, right? So yeah, college, it's like real life, you know. And then also like with the whole networking thing, right? Like in real life, when you get an assignment and not an assignment, but like if you have something to do, it's best to delegate to somebody that's better at doing it, honestly, right? And not to say like that's what I did. I didn't. It wasn't that I delegated it to him, but I found somebody that was able to do something that I wasn't able to do, and then used them basically, right? And I did that like multiple times, honestly. Like for the exams, the girl that took my exam, the guy that took my exam, like I wasn't like using them because obviously I tried to repay them. Obviously, you know, the girl, I tried to repay her with food as well. Like I took her out on a date once, and then the guy, I offered him food as well. Like, you know, there's ways to compensate people to make them want to help you, right? And sometimes they don't even want it. Sometimes they don't want the compensation. They just want to help, you know, and they just want a friend. So you gotta see those as opportunities, okay? And yeah, it's really not that hard to graduate college. All right, if you're nice to people, okay, especially the professors. If you suck ass to the professor, like really kiss ass, and really just like develop a really good relationship with the professor, it doesn't even matter if you do poorly, because they if they recognize by the time they do the gradings and stuff, they'll keep you in mind. Honestly, they really will. Like you don't even know how important it is to have that kind of like relationship with your professor. Like you don't even know how valuable it is. And even like after college, right? If you maintain a relationship, it's a very very useful connection to have, right? Somebody that's working in the college that has all these connections, right? All these future that they're teaching and also meeting, right? So this it's a good connection to have, right? So don't like look at your professor and just think, oh, what a, you know, he's just a teacher, right? There's opportunity there too. Okay, so again, if you want to do it without much effort, okay. Now, if you want to put in more effort, well, you just ignore everything I said. Like if you want to go study, if you want to just like do the hard way, by all means, do it the hard way because that's the right way, right? That's how you should be treating college. I just did it without much effort, right? Because I didn't really care about college. I just wanted to pass and get a degree, right? And that's what I did. That was my goal, and I completed my goal. Right? It was, I didn't even my last semester. I really did not care at all. Like, I barely even like tried at all. Like, I really just showed up, for the most part. I really didn't try that hard, and you could really do well if you just show up. Like I'm not gonna lie, like that's the bare minimum, and if you show up, that's half the battle already. Okay, so yeah, okay, the effort should be mostly focused on showing up. Beyond that, studying, those two things, that's it, right? That's how you get through college without much effort. Try not if you want to um, put in the effort, then yeah, you'll get more out of college. But if you're just trying to breeze through it as fast as you can, as easily as you can, like I did, right? Then just do what I did, honestly. Just copy people, cheat, network, right? And then just getting the bare minimum done. Right? Not, and like trying your best to get the most out of each class by networking. Getting people to help you pass, okay? Like getting that group of people with the same objective of passing. People that like, oh, don't give a fuck about their grade. Like, stay away from those people. Help you graduate, and hanging out with them is gonna be fun, but they're not gonna help you on exams. Trust. They're gonna be trying to cheat off you on exam, and two dumb people trying to cheat off each other. It's not gonna be good. It's not good. It's not gonna be good for anybody. Okay. So find the smart people. Cheat them. All right. So I hope you enjoyed this video of how I graduated college without much effort. And if you did enjoy, please drop a thumbs up. And when you have these other videos, I have another video.